We've recently seen a new variant first identified in India. We've now detected 103 cases of this variant, of which, again, the vast majority have links to international travel and have been picked up by our testing at the border. We've been analysing samples from these cases to see if this variant has any concerning characteristics like greater transmissibility or resistance to treatments and vaccines, meaning that it needs to be listed as a variant of concern. Mr. Speaker, after studying the data and on a precautionary basis, we've made the difficult but vital decision to add India to the red list. This means anyone who is not a UK or Irish resident or a British citizen cannot enter the UK if they have been in India in the previous 10 days.
Tensions between Russia and the West have been escalating in recent weeks. The United States of America has now expressed concerns over Russia's reported plans to block foreign military ships and other vessels in parts of the Black Sea. The U.S. State Department has called Russia's plans to block parts of the Black Sea an unprovoked escalation. In his latest address, U.S. State Department spokesperson Ned Price has said, and I quote, "This represents yet another unprovoked escalation in Moscow's ongoing campaign to undermine and destabilize Ukraine," unquote.
This is what Chad's government says is the aftermath of fighting between its forces and the armed group known as the Front for Change and Concord. More than 300 of its fighters were killed and at least 100 captured in the northern province of Kanem, about 300 kilometers from the capital in Jamena. The government says 5 of its soldiers were killed and dozens more injured. The latest fighting between the two sides comes just a week after the group attacked a government position at the border on Election Day. It was formed in 2016 and says it aims to remove longtime President Idris Deby, who is leading in early election results. Deby has been in power since 1990. He's faced numerous coup attempts and rebellions, mostly in the east.
Tensions between Russia and the West have been escalating in recent weeks. The United States of America has now expressed concerns over Russia's reported plans to block foreign military ships and other vessels in parts of the Black Sea. The U.S. State Department has called Russia's plans to block parts of the Black Sea an unprovoked escalation. In his latest address, U.S. State Department spokesperson Ned Price has said, and I quote, "This represents yet another unprovoked escalation in Moscow's ongoing campaign to undermine and destabilize Ukraine," unquote.
A 7-year-old girl is dead, shot and killed in a McDonald's drive-thru on Chicago's west side. And CBS 2's Stephen Graves talked with the family of Jaslyn Adams, who are begging people to put away their guns.
Really emotional right now for my family.
Tearful, pain-filled words from Jaslyn Adams' aunt as she remembers the 7-year-old as funny and joyful. Family spoke from right outside Stroger Hospital where the girl died. A Chicago police officer rushing her here from about 2 miles away inside this bullet-ridden car. It was sitting in a McDonald's drive-thru at Roosevelt and Kedzie. At least 30 shell casings surrounded the vehicle. The tinted windows on the side were shot out. Bullet holes in the frame and back window as well. Investigators say Jaslyn was hit multiple times around 4:15 Sunday afternoon. Family says her father, Jonte Adams, was also hit.
Stop right there.
It's the moment the law catches up with an ex-cop wanted in the mass slayings.
Interlock your fingers on top of your head. Turn around, face away from me. Do it now.
The sun is still rising as the triple murder suspect is busted on a country road in Texas. Well versed in police procedures, he follows the cops' instructions to the letter.
Keep walking. Stop.
The cops cuff him. As they do, they search him and find a gun.
Has a pistol in his waistband.
Ex-sheriff's deputy Stephen Broderick had been on the run since 7 a.m. Sunday following the slaying of his wife Amanda, their daughter Alyssa, and her boyfriend Willie Simmons, the captain of his high school football team. The killings triggered a statewide alert for his capture.
As the jury in the murder trial of ex-policeman Derek Chauvin began its deliberations on Monday, Minneapolis and other cities across the U.S. ramped up security measures, bracing for protests. Chauvin is charged with murdering George Floyd by kneeling on his neck last May. Floyd's fatal arrest has sparked nationwide anti-racism protests. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz declared a preemptive state of emergency in the Minneapolis metropolitan area and requested security assistance from other states. Tensions in Minneapolis have been running high over the Chauvin trial, as well as the death of another black man, Daunte Wright, who was shot by police during a traffic stop in a suburb of the city. Former U.S. Vice President Walter Mondale has died at the age of 93. Mondale was a leading Democratic voice of the late 20th century, serving in Jimmy Carter's administration from 1977 to 1981. In a statement released to the public after his death, Mondale thanked his staff and wrote that he was eager to rejoin his late wife Joan, who died in 2014, and daughter Eleanor, who passed away in 2011.
Well, a pointsman with the Mumbai division, Mayur Salkhe, risked his life to save a child from being run over by a train at Bangani railway station on Saturday. CCTV footage shows a child losing his balance while walking at the platform and falling off on the railway track. He tried climbing the platform but couldn't. Shelke then saw the boy on the railway track, jumped into action. He pulled the child towards the platform just a few seconds before the train arrived there. Shelke won accolades from the Railways Minister Piyush Goyal for his heroism. He was also felicitated by the DRM of the Mumbai Division of Central Railways.
Tonight, this massive warehouse in Houston is closed. The nearly 500 unaccompanied migrant girls housed there abruptly moved. ABC News obtaining this exclusive video, staffers removing their belongings, girls being driven off in buses, and this exchange with police at the scene.
For their own safety.
Facing an influx at the border, the Biden administration rushed to open the center, awarding a $4 million contract to the National Association of Christian Churches, a group that specializes in disaster relief, not caring for migrant kids. But just 17 days later, that contract ended after what sources say were multiple allegations, including not enough staffers to accompany children to the bathroom, some girls told to use plastic bags to relieve themselves, children sitting on cots most of the day, non-existent outdoor space.